If you've ever thought there just aren't enough hours in my day and this pace isn't sustainable, you're not wrong. And something's got to change. What if I told you the solution isn't working more hours or hiring more people? It's a 5 minute habit that can give you back an hour a day. Now, an hour might not seem like much, but that's 20 hours over a month. And today I'm only sharing one change. As you stack these micro shifts, you'll feel more in control, less overwhelmed, and spend less time working. Here's how to start. As a business owner, you can do everything in your business. And there's probably a time when you did do everything. But here's what's happening: you're still carrying tasks that don't need to be yours anymore. Maybe you've thought, there are 1,000 tasks that require my attention. I heard one business owner say it feels like you finally carve out time for the deep work only to get pulled back into admin, customer service, or the latest crisis. Now, today I'm not talking about some big overhaul. I'm going to talk about a daily stop doing decision that takes 5 minutes. Here's the real problem: just because you can do something doesn't mean that you're the one who should do it. But most of what we do as business owners is born out of habit. We don't even pause to think, wait, could someone else handle this? You've been doing certain tasks for a long time and they just feel automatic. Check email, handle that client question, fix that small issue. But somewhere along the way, you hired people who could actually handle these things. You just never made the conscious decision to stop doing them yourself. Here's the reality: you're so busy with so much to do that pausing to see what you can take off your plate just feels like another task added to your to do list, which you just don't have time for. So your list keeps getting longer with the things you've always done, the new things that only you can do, and the fires that you actually need to put out. Like a hamster on a wheel, you feel constantly busy but going nowhere. Work never ends. Here's what Joe, a business owner, shared that really hit home. I'm terribly bad at handing things off. I spend all day and all night doing everything myself. But then he realized something crucial. Entrepreneurship isn't about making it on your own. It's about building teams to achieve goals you can't alone. The truth: most business owners build themselves another job, not a business. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Here's the game changer: the morning kickoff. It's exactly what it sounds like: 5 minutes at the start of each day where you scan your to do list and you ask one simple question: what am I about to do today that doesn't have to be mine? This isn't just a task management thing. This is the foundation of what I call CEO mode. Instead of being the chief everything officer, you're now making strategic decisions about where your time goes and what you can delegate to others. One business owner said, I had a breakthrough when I realized the biggest way to unlock was figuring out what actually needed me versus what someone else could do. Once I started documenting repeatable tasks and handing them off, things became way easier. That's exactly what this 5 minute habit does. It forces you to assess what truly needs you versus what you're doing out of habit. Here's a little tip to help you figure out what to hand off versus what to keep. Use my $10 versus $100 task filter. $10 tasks are routine, repeatable tasks. They could be things like admin or following up with a client. There are things that don't necessarily move the needle in your business. Whereas $100 tasks are more strategy focused, vision oriented. They're things that actually need your involvement. Today, pick one $10 task from your to do list that you can hand off to one of your employees. Here's the key principle: move anything someone else can do 80% as good as you. The thing is, perfect is the enemy of progress. And holding on to tasks that others can do at least 80% of how you do it is what's keeping you stuck in the weeds. Okay, so communication is key when handing things off. You want to make sure the employee feels supported and knows that you have their back. So here's an example of what you could say: hey, Johnny, this task I need you to do today. Let me know what you need in order to feel supported or to get this accomplished. Here's the thing: I totally trust you and I know you can get it done. I really don't need to be involved unless you hit a roadblock. Or another thing you could say is, what do you need from me so that you can move this forward today? Notice what's different. You're not just assigning, you're actually transferring ownership. You're also asking what they need to succeed, which prevents the boomerang effect. You're anticipating the questions before they come up. So one business owner shared, I'd rather spend an hour of 100% focused time with an employee, showing them how to do a task my way to build their confidence and give them quality training and my undivided attention. This leads to a better training outcome and a higher level of respect from your staff. The investment in that clear handoff conversation pays dividends. When you take the time to transfer ownership properly, tasks actually stay transferred. Here's an example of this. There's a business owner, we'll call her Leah, who was drowning in follow-up emails every morning. So using a script like this, she handed off all of the client follow-ups to her operations manager. Within 3 days, her mornings went from reactive to strategic. She gained 45 minutes every morning just from that one handoff. And like one business owner reported, in 2 weeks, I've replaced myself in most of my daily tasks. And it's allowed me time to focus on developing new products and coming up with better systems. Now, I know you might be thinking, this sounds risky. What if they don't do it right? So here's a smart approach. Start small so that you feel the level of risk is manageable. If you need to redo it, no calamity. Think about the tasks that you do regularly. List them out and then ask yourself, what's low risk and doesn't take much time? These again are those $10 tasks. Start there and build confidence, both yours and your team, with small wins before moving to bigger handoffs. This is about building your stop doing muscle gradually. Each successful handoff makes the next one easier and gives you proof that your team can handle more than you think. All right, so real talk here. What can you expect? Will you get a full hour back on day one? Maybe, maybe not. But here's what happens. When you stick with this for just 3 days, you start building what I call the ownership habit, both for you and your team. Your team begins anticipating handoffs. You start thinking strategically about your task list, and gradually you shift from carrying everything to leading everything. Some days you'll reclaim 30 minutes. Some days, just the mental space. What matters is you're building the muscle to step into true CEO mode. Remember, your business should work for you and not because of you. And the compound effect is real. That hour a day becomes 20 hours a month, 240 hours a year. That's 6 full working weeks that you get back just from one habit. Here's your action step. Try this morning kickoff for the next 3 days. Pick one $10 task each morning and use that script that I gave you to hand it off immediately. And if you want even more quick wins to reclaim your time, reset your focus, and step into your next level of leadership, grab my 40-hour Freedom Fast Track. It's completely free and gives you practical strategies that you can use right away to get out of the weeds and start leading like a CEO. The link is in the description below. But first, I'd love to hear from you. What's one task that always ends up back on your plate, no matter how many times you try to hand it off? I read every comment, and I'd love to try and help you figure out your handoff strategy for that specific challenge. If you haven't already, like and subscribe for more helpful tips I provide every single week. That's all for now. See you next time.